Hey, my name is Bray, and welcome back to the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Let's Play. Now, in this particular episode, we're going to be looking at a few new zones. We're going to be looking at Mystic Cave Zone, one of my favorite zones in the game, because of its aesthetic, its level design, its overall stage structure, its music, and Oil Ocean Zone. And let me tell you, that zone is real fun. Oh boy. If you couldn't tell by my heavy dose of sarcasm, I don't like Oil Ocean Zone. Now, there is one problem I have with this particular zone. In Act 2 of Mystic Cave Zone, there's a big ol' beginner's trap. Right somewhere in the middle of Act 2. Now, it's disguised as an alternate route. Don't fall into it, because, it's not fun if you fall into it. Because it's basically a bottomless pit that that toys with you before it kills you. Now, I'm pretty sure you've noticed that in order to get anywhere in this particular zone, we flip these vine switches, as I call them. Now, they'll open a new pathway, they'll take you to a new route, they'll open a bridge or activate platforms. Now, this infamous beginner's trap, dubbed the Pit, is in Act 2, and it's disguised as one of these alternate pathway-looking things. So, Act 2, try and go kind of slow if you're taking the middle or the bottom path. If you're taking the top path, you don't really have to worry, because you're going to avoid the pit entirely. Now, Sonic 2 veterans will tell you horror stories about their first playthrough with that pit, because I am positive everybody fell into it at one point or another. If you find someone who says that they didn't fall into it, they're lying and full of shit. So call them out on it. But I'm going to be taking the absolute topmost path of the stage because I want to avoid the pit. Because I don't want to be taking any chances, because I was recording, and I know that the recording curse would screw me in the long run, and I would thus fall into the pit. And saving myself from further embarrassment, I took the topmost path because I wanted to be safe. Now, like I'm pretty sure I mentioned in Sonic 1 that the topmost path of a stage will bring you to the most goodies, and it's generally the fastest path in the game that you can take. So, when in doubt, take the top path in a Sonic game, and you will be rewarded justly. But we're coming up on our next Robotnik battle here right away. And he's fairly easy, I find. Now we're coming up on the fight in of itself. Now, Robotnik will descend and ascend into and from the ceiling. Now, while he's descending, just jump up, get some free hits in on him. The fire doesn't do any damage. It's just the drills that he charges you with, and the spikes he drops from the ceiling as he's drilling into or from it that will do damage. But if you have a shield, invincibility power-up, or supersonic even, you don't have to worry about that. But with that is Act 2, and that is the rest of Mystic Cave Zone. Now it's time to have a lot of fun. Oil Ocean Zone, yay! Now, like I mentioned, I don't like this zone. Not one little bit. I mean, I find the stage itself to be rather boring. I'm not a big fan of Oil Ocean Zone. And what adds on to that is there's this one particular badnik in this zone that can hit you from off screen and you can't see it. Because that's cool. Now, it's a seahorse-like badnik, and like I mentioned, it can see you from off screen and you can't see it. So it will shoot at you by releasing a single projectile that will most likely hit you before you can even see the badnik itself. And it's a very small projectile, so chances are you're going to get hit by it and not see it or know where it came from. So, yeah, these guys. Because those projectiles are fairly quick, too, so yeah. probably one of my least 4 favorite badniks in the game. Well, actually in my top 3 least favorite badniks. Right behind the ones in the next zone. Ugh. And that's even more fun than this particular zone. I'm not looking forward to that one at all. Now, the thing about Oil Ocean Zone is there's a rather large shortcut you can take if you take the ground route, and by that I mean the very bottom of the screen. However, that's also kind of dangerous, because you gotta be careful. Because underneath the entire zone, surprise surprise, there's a giant oil ocean. Which, if you fall too far into the oil, acts such as a bottomless pit. So you're going to want to be careful of that and not fall too far down, because you'll end up in a bottomless pit and losing one of your precious, precious lives. Now, it's Act 2 that I want to touch on more than this particular act, because Act 1 isn't very impressive. Act 2 is where things get a little bit more interesting. Now that we're moving into Act 2 of Oil Ocean Zone, there is a particular glitch I want to mention, and it is called the Megasonic glitch. Now, the Megasonic glitch is rather unique in of its execution. It requires you taking damage on a bed of spikes, falling onto one of the green bouncing platforms that we've already seen. It will launch you up into a purple thing, one of these big purple barrel things, and as such, you will be able to move twice as fast, jump twice as far, and twice as high. It's basically going into supersonic form without going into supersonic form, so that's kind of neat. But executing the glitch is harder than it seems. I can't activate it, but I've seen it activated. I wish I could have shown it off, but I'm not very good at doing glitches in Sonic 2. Or 3, for that matter. But it's this particular zone that there's a lot more spikes, a lot more ways to just take damage in general, and as such, Act 2 is a much more dangerous stage than Act 1 of Oil Ocean. But if you have invincibility power-ups, shield monitors, as well as, you know, supersonic, you don't really have much to worry about. And even still, the Robotnik fight of Oil Ocean Zone isn't very dangerous either. So you just gotta be a little cautious in this particular act before jumping headfirst into spikes and pits and whatnot. Now, I do believe that those green platforms, if you're caught under them, can crush you as well, which is an instant kill, just like it was in Sonic 1. And will be in Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic CD, Sonic 4, Sonic... not Sonic Spinball. I don't think you can get crushed in Spinball. I'm not gonna look forward to playing Spinball for this channel either, but what can you do, right? I do want to cover as many of the console Sonic games as I can, so... yeah. Which means all of Sonic 4, the rest of the 2D Sonic games, 3D games, all that. But this is our next Dr. Robotnik fight. Now, he'll pop out of the ocean, giving you, like, 5 free hits in on him. He'll then launch this tail thing, which the back side of the tail doesn't do any damage. So you can pass right through it, no problem. He'll then bring up this cannon, which shoots 3 lasers. It shoots high, medium, and low. If it shoots low, it'll travel across the floor, meaning you just duck and... no, you jump and you won't take any damage from it. But if he shoots high or medium, just duck and you'll avoid that, and then the pattern recycles. So, not a very difficult boss, all things considered. 8 hits later, he goes down like a chump, and Oil Ocean Zone is done. Next up is my least favorite zone in the game, Metropolis Zone. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and take care, and I will see you in Metropolis Zone.